My name's Chris and I'm the average decent dad. Chris is the school friend of mine who works in Hamilton. 2005 is with you as always. We're here to guide you, casual FIFA player, through the wonderful yes, soul-destroying world of FIFA Online. Settle in for the next hour or so that we give you this week's Casual Club podcast. The dynamic duo is back.
We are. Although, well, we just have failed to arrange with Banana to be online at this point. It's probably our fault.
No, to be fair, I think Banana did say that. I think I remembered he said that he should be okay, but he may be driving back from his folks' place. So we may have our dear friend Banana joining us later on. That'll be interesting because he might just randomly come in. Hopefully he'll slip in quietly and then we'll notice him. Those guys on YouTube may be able to you'll be able to maybe see him randomly appear. But hey, welcome along, guys. Apologies, we missed out last week. Obviously I had a little bit of trouble getting the last pod out due to sort of work and personal stuff going on, and so then we said, oh yeah, sorry, we'll do one at the beginning of the week or the end of the weekend, and it just never happened. So we were going to do one, but then Billy, you were a little bit under the weather, weren't you? So we decided, right, sod it, we'll postpone and we'll just sort of do 2 weeks and run. So we've got a packed show. We're going to go through a lot of stuff that's already happened. We're going to go through a little bit about what we've got going on. We're going to go through, so I played my first weekend league this weekend, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, where teams are at, ideas for progression and things like that. So yeah, it's going to be kind of relatively random, I suppose, which normally means it's either going to be a good pod, it's going to be a rubbish pod, so let's hope it's the former. But how you doing, Bill?
Yeah, pretty good, to be honest. I think, yeah, we'll go on to it more throughout the pod, but yeah, feeling all good. Yeah. Also, I think with that, feeling a bit better now after just about 3 or 4 days run down with the cold. I think I'm on the final stretch, so should be good to go for a Monday morning. Have a 9 to 5, another 9 to 5 week.
Yes. Well, I had to work Saturday morning, so my missus was like, "Cool, weekend's really gone really quickly for you, hasn't it?" I said, "Yeah, because I only had like a day and a half. Like that's why." Okay, cool. So let's jump straight into what we've missed. So road to the final. Road to the final. It's not road to the final anymore, is it? It's not road to the final anymore. Road to the knockouts came out last week. Now, I'm going to get this up on for the purpose of the YouTubers. Just gonna pull this up on the screen. So we're just gonna we can have a quick chat through what's been going on. Now, apologies, FUT bin. I know this looks a little bit weird. FUT bin is being a little bit weird tonight. The text is all a little bit all over the place. So it's not. I don't really know what's going on because the prices aren't pulling through either. So it's probably not the best night to start sharing these guys. Of course, major headline was big Lionel, or little Lionel, should I say, and also Patrick Schick in goal, which I thought was a bold move from EA for the team. But I mean, I've come across a fair few of these guys in weekend league this weekend. I think Thomas Lamar is actually seemed pretty handy against me. Bull, anything that you really kind of picked out from this team?
Yeah, I was drawn to Lamar actually straight away, mainly because I think Carrera got an inform this week, and I thought, okay, I think he'll be maybe not an upgrade, but he'll fit the upgrades I want to do to my team because I want to dip into La Liga. I thought, okay, I'll pair Lamar and Correa together. And yeah, I really like Lamar, to be fair. He feels a bit like Kante in game. Didn't realise how small he is. I don't actually know what his height is. Does it say there?
5'7", mate. 5'7".
5'7". Yeah, I thought he was a lot taller than that.
I mean, I must admit, because he's been a wide man, hasn't he? He's always been a wide player with not a particularly high pace. So he's never been a kind of a player that's really jumped out at you as a kind of a must-have in teams. He's normally sat around with an 83, 83 fodder kind of thing, hasn't he? But yeah, so yeah, he's not. Yeah, you're right. I thought he was at least sort of 5'9".
Yeah, so I would say he feels like a nice version of Kante, because Kante I felt has got a nerf this year. So it is basically like playing with last year's gold Kante in midfield, really. And he actually has a few attributes as well, getting forward. Like his shooting is not terrible. Like his passing's all right. So yeah, I quite like the card. I'm conscious that it's not going to get any upgrades, but I don't think it will matter too much. I think this card's got a good month or two of usability in it.
Yeah, I'd agree. And again, so for what is currently just under 120k, certainly sits in that in that diamond in the rough mark. Other particular kind of sort of mid-level cards, you've got Valverde in here, who's, I say mid-level, but he obviously up to 700k. But again, Valverde is kind of is sort of the kind of starter centre mid at the moment, given the card, and obviously it's a great upgrade on him. And again, I say that will be getting some upgrades. Also from the sort of the Europa League and Conference League, saw quite a lot of Wan-Bissaka over the week. Actually, in playoffs, I didn't really see Wan-Bissaka in during weekend league, but certainly in the playoffs, I think he was probably in about 6 out of 10 the 10 teams I faced, to be honest. So interesting that obviously Wan-Bissaka's got a little bit of an upgrade there. And again, should get at least one upgrade in relation to that. I think Man United are going relatively okay in Europa.
See, I don't know. Well, yeah, I think he'll get one upgrade. I think a lot of these cards can only get one upgrade though, because some of the results, even Valverde, because Madrid actually drew to Shakhtar this week, and I feel like that's one. There were a lot of teams that played this week that I feel had to win this game, because it was probably one of the two easier games left in the group stage. And you might also get cases where teams are through, and that last game they'll play their B team and rotate in the Champions League and play in the league.
I don't know, because the thing is that you've got a lot of them. The Champions League, I think, the last group game is it like the week or the week before that they break for the World Cup?
Yes.
So there's not going to be much rotation necessary. Do you know what I mean? Because the guys that are going to go off to the World Cup, they're going to go off to the World Cup, and the guys that aren't, they've obviously got a lovely little break. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting.
True, but there's still a league game before the break.
That's very true. Someone that may well not be getting an inform is Rafinha, which is probably somewhat reflected in his price of just being about 215k on the consoles, a little bit more expensive on PC. Nice stats. I suppose 4-star. I haven't got the 5-star skill moves, which is strange actually, because I'd have thought Rafinha would have had them. But yeah, sort of. Obviously, Barca haven't done very well, and I mean they're hanging on by a thread to qualify. I mean that's a better card than 200k, isn't it not?
I'm not sure, because for me he's missing the 5-star skill moves to boost that card up a little bit, because you've got Dembele, and I'm gonna guess base Dembele is slowly declining, possibly like around the 70-60k mark, but he was around 90k last weekend. But I would say Dembele is the better shout for the right wing anyway.
Interesting. Okay, well look, I mean obviously this team's been around for ages, so we're not again, like I say, is there anyone in particular you want to pick out before we move on?
I think the only other one is Paqueta. I think he might get, because does 85 go to an 87, or is it 85 to 86?
85 to 86. 85 is the last one. Is 84 goes up double, then once it hits 85 it's a single, I think.
Okay. But that could get a double upgrade, and he's also 5-star skill moves. I think that could turn out to be quite a nice card if it can hit an 87. West Ham have already got one win. I think they've got two easy players in their group, also it's two easier teams in their group. See, I think
Can go lengthy with
150k.
Can go lengthy with an architect as well, which was
True, but then
I was going to check.
Yeah, the whole lengthy discussion on what positions you should apply lengthy to. I don't know if you should have lengthy people in the middle of the park, more explosive and controlled, but yeah, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, let's not get into that. But yeah, no, like I said, Paqueta's a good. I mean, he was certainly the one that I was looking at when it came out. He did take my attention, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how likely those upgrades are going to be. Okay, so let's have a look at rule breakers that obviously dropped on Friday. So obviously we mentioned Road to the Knockouts. So Road to the Knockouts was a single team. Obviously Ones to Watch was a single team. Rule breakers, we've got a team 1 and a team 2. I mean, obviously I was, stating my claim, saying that I was quite enjoying the fact that we're likely to going to go back to that kind of single team, promos. I mean, do you think we're going to see this pattern of, maybe some of the bigger ones are going to be sort of a couple of teams? I mean, I'd have said Ones to Watch. I mean, there was loads of good transfers over the summer, so I mean, you could have easily got 2 teams out of Ones to Watch.
Yeah, true. I can't remember what the pattern really is for this. Wasn't it last year the big?
Last year there was probably about 2, maybe 3 promos that were single week. Everything else had 2 teams.
Yeah, I've got a feeling you'll see a similar pattern again, because I don't think that pattern was really broken. I don't mind the team 1, team 2. Feel like we got a lot more special cards that way. I'd be very surprised if EA held back the amount of special cards that I feel like the community now expects a promo every week. So unless we see more types of promo and less team 2s, that might be the way they go.
Yeah, but I think a lot of this is relation to, but like things like we're having like a dynamic duo every week at the moment. Do you know what I mean? I think if there's other supply, excuse me, if there's other supply, if there's other through SBCs or through the league objectives and things like that, I think it keeps it fresh. I think that keeps plenty of special cards in the game without battering us with new teams. I mean, there's only there's 15 cards in this one. So normally, and we've been having like squads of 18, let's be honest. So, and I suppose there's not been a mini release tonight. So maybe
I thought there was a mini release.
Oh, has there been a mini release tonight?
I thought Robertone, Bailey, and possibly Hernandez. But I might be wrong on that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You might. That. To be fair, you might. That you might be right on that one. Let's see when his release date was added on 16th. Yeah. So yeah, there was a release tonight. So I've just made myself look seem stupid. But there, I was, as my tweet said earlier on today, I was busy cooking dinner. So yeah, I think so the main comment we've had based around the Rule Breakers team number 1 is, aside from Big Cristiano, who's currently sitting around about 1.7 million, these guys are, I mean, we haven't got anybody who's over 300k. I think Fekir is the highest, who's just touching over 300k. Now, that a lot of people have seen that as a bit of a criticism, because obviously that means that it's a relatively underwhelming team. But I mean, I like to look at it and say, well, surely that just makes a lot of these guys more accessible.
Yes. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they will be accessible, but then it's not that you've got sought after cards that are accessible. I think they're accessible for a good reason, and that's because there are probably in most of these cases there are better gold rare cards out there anyway, just because of how their stats have been boosted. I don't think there's a lot of nice upgrades here. I think you've got to pick them out very carefully. My opinion, a lot of them have been nerfed in speciality areas. Fakir and Zaha being the two prime examples of this. When you think of those two cards, what makes them good is their dribbling, and it's their dribbling that takes a hit, and they're boosted in other areas. I just think maybe not in Zaha's case, because I think his boost is quite a lot bigger than Fakir's on his gold card. But I think if we did a FUT for Fakir, Rulebreaker and gold card, untradeable, I'd be tempted to go for his gold card, seriously.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sounds bizarre, and yes, the Rulebreaker will have more in-game stats, but I feel like, Fakir's main attribute is his dribbling skills. So
okay, we're going to get them side by side. So apologies for those who are listening on audio. This is going to be no use for you. So we've got total stats. So the Rulebreaker only has 13 more total stats, face stats. Quite a few more in-game stats.
That's not a massive, but 50 in-game stats isn't that big. So he's only got up 2.
I mean, he's gone out. He's got 63 in-game stats. Full in-game stats, 63 has gone up. So I think, yeah, and it is just your dribbling. So you're getting. Okay, so you get an 85 pace, 90 acceleration, 81 sprint speed, which, I mean, when there's a massive gap between those two numbers, that's always it always rings alarm bells for me, because I question how, and there's a big gap between the pace, the acceleration, and the sprint speed on his normal gold card. But I always think that means they're not actually going to feel that pacey, despite having 90 acceleration. Shooting's 85 from 82, passing's 88 from 82. Dribbling is the real thing you're getting is that you're getting a massive boost in passing at the detriment to dribbling. So let's focus on these two areas here, Bull. So what do you reckon, mate? What are you looking at here?
Well,
Talk us through it. Talk us the way your mind works in terms of what's going to be useful here and what's going to be the difference maker.
Well, I think this might just be the way I play. In all honesty, I left stick dribble quite a lot in my play, and I rely on that. So dribbling for any centre mid is probably, with pace, the most important stat for me. But passing's a weird one, because I play fairly safe passes, so I don't need a guy that can play 50-yard balls over the top and has a great range of long passing or whatever. And what is the short passing comparison there?
Short passing, so he's up to 89 from 83.
Oh yeah, that's barely a difference. I feel like the difference between 6 passing for like a short passing stat is really hard to see in game, whereas actually +3 or +4 to an agility stat, you can start to feel that, and that's simply my case of preferring the gold.
No, hey, look, that it's a fair argument. I mean, again, you're talking about play styles. I mean, I am the one that tries I am the one that tries the eye of the needle pass, as you well know from when we've played co-op together. So big passing stats are big for me, which is part of the reason why I've got Cruz as one of my midfield too, and why I'm seriously considering saving up for KDB, because I came up against him 2 or 3 times and in weekend league, and the passing was just unreal. So So yeah, so I think no, I get what you're saying, and I think we had it with Dembele last year, didn't we? That you know the thing that made Dembele good, his pace and his dribbling were the two things that kind of got nerfed in the rule breakers card. So it kind of made you kind of really question how it was a £1 million coin, a million coin card at the time. But I think I am with you. I don't see necessarily what variety. I mean, I got quite interested in Phillips, but I don't really see the point of his upgrade. Again, someone like Bonucci, I don't really see the point of that card either. PK, okay, you've pushed his pace back up. Okay.
I think it's made some of these cards usable.
I think PK's card is usable, but I think again it's you know, and I suppose
he's still got 37 balance, which is possibly a big problem.
Exactly. I think, and that's what I was going to say. I was going to try and highlight is that these two, 61 agility, 37 balance. Yes, fine. He's got the pace. Yes, fine. He's got the thing. He's lengthy on pretty much everything. Oh, you know, he starts off as lengthy, so you've got that element to it as well. But 31 balance. He's gonna get, if you get somebody that like you that can actually left stick dribble, he's screwed. So yeah. Whereas and I think that's part of the reason that's, you know, again, some of these cards aren't as thing. Again, unfortunately, because of FUT having a bit of a moment this evening, the prices aren't populating in a handy kind of way. Just want to touch on Leon Bailey that did come out today. I've had Bailey as one of my starters / subs since release. To be honest with you, as I know he can play either side. Obviously, his pace hasn't taken a massive hit, but I think he has actually made him a lot more usable, if you know what I mean. That shooting's gone up, dribbling's gone up a little bit as well. It's just a nice card.
Yeah, because he's got such a bigger upgrade than, like, if you compare him to the Fekir upgrade, like this is an 80 to an 86, whereas Fekir is only an 85 to an 87. So yeah, Bailey has got such a big boost in other areas. Like what your shooting has gone +7 across the board, dribbling stats between 5 and 4 across the board, passing stats above 10 across the board, or just above. So
And you've only really lost 2 paces, isn't it? 91 paces initial one.
Yeah, and
oh yeah, 92 pace. Yeah. So you've lost 3 pace, and you've got such a massive upgrade.
Yeah, stick a hunter on this guy, and this is all of a sudden an amazing card. The only unfortunate thing about this is the weak foot at 3-star. Defensive work rate being low, again, that depends on play style, lean, 5'10". There is a lot to like here for 130k.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep an eye on his price because, as we said, as we'll get on to it, I'm reassessing my wide men, and like I say, I still score good goals. You say about the 3-star weak foot, obviously his base is 3-star weak foot as well, but you don't really notice it. Maybe it's because he's left-footed. I don't know, but again, you've also got the fact that you've got obviously the outside of the foot trait. Or, you know, that I don't think he actually has got outside of the foot trait. But yes, so he has got outside foot trait. So yeah. Okay, so when
there's less of an issue.
So when you're asking for it using the LT or whatever, then it's gonna be more impactful as well. So, you know, I think I really like this guy. I'd probably say I would say he's probably my diamond in the rough. Although I don't know whether you can technically count it because it's part of the mini release.
Oh no, you can definitely count the mini release players as diamond. Yeah, I think he definitely is one. I think there's a couple of diamonds in the rough, to be honest.
Okay, so if I'm putting forward Bailey, mate, who are you going with as your diamond?
I kind of pick 2 because I feel like they both need a mention for the different positions.
Okay, yeah.
But first would be Roberto. Not sure on the pronunciation there, but this guy is probably it's not that far from Hullet Gang.
Very true. For 62k.
Yeah, no,
look
at some of these stats for you. Look at some of these stats because he's high. When FUT been actually lows. Hang on, I've got it on.
Yeah, this is really. I've got to keep apologising to these to the guys on YouTube because this guy is so slow tonight. I never known FUT been to be so slow.
But the standout stat is 97 agility, which.
Oh wow! Yeah.
5'9". What's the body type? Average. Okay, not
explosive.
Not awful. Yep. But yeah, that's what I want, explosive in my CMs anyway, so that's good. I'm struggling to see that many bad things here. And depending on the chemistry style, you can play him in a range of positions where you can have him sitting back. Sorry, he's not high, is he? He's high defensive, medium attack.
Yeah, I think I was going to say is that, I mean, again, it depends how you want your CMs to be. I mean, I like them to be high. I mean, he's obviously got quite a he can be cam, CM, CDM, so he's got that range in terms of wherever you want to play him. And again, because he's nearly Hullet Gang, like the stats would allow you. I mean, probably not the best cam, but certainly CM or CDM he would work. I think it does push. I don't know. The problem is that because of his work rates, it would push me more to being a defensively minded CM or a CDM. And then that defending, I say I'd like that defending better. He's got standing tackle as 91, sliding tackle at 93, but then that big key stat, defensive awareness, is then at 74, which then does make you wonder. We've said, EA have said it to the last 2 or 3 years that defensive awareness plays a massive part of the kind of the AI thinking of a defensive minded player. I think if you're controlling him, I think he's a beast. But if you're saying, for example, using second man press, or you're relying on the AI to kind of position him correctly, I just wonder whether he may let you down. That would be my only, and that's let's be honest, that's being picky. When you're kind of, when that's the level you're going at, that's quite picky.
Yeah, it's a card I'd probably play at CDM. Bear in mind he is 55k, so yeah, he is a really good low budget. I feel like if you're playing a system where you're playing 2 CDMs and you've got 1 on stay back or even 2 on stay back, you can look at him, or even in a like 4-1-2-1-2 where that 1 CDM is always going to stay back. I feel like he would be a better CDM rather than a box to box. And then defensive awareness with a chemistry style gets to around 80. But like, I'm looking at different chemistry styles now. An anchor, he goes to 99 in sliding tackles and standing tackles. That's insane with 97 agility.
Yeah, and his pace goes up decently as well, doesn't it? He's a really interesting card. I would love if anyone gets him, or gets him untradeable and tries him out. Get in the comments on the YouTube, or get it in the Discord for the pod channel, because I'd love to know how he plays. Because I got a Bruno Guimaraes in my sorry, a bit Derek Ray came out there. Bruno Guimaraes in my red picks, who is very similar stat wise to this guy. And to be honest with you, if I hadn't got him, looking at this at Robertone now, I'd be looking at thinking, yeah, he fits as a good replacement for Camavinga.
I'm just gonna send you something in the chat which I think is really interesting. Just get all that image, just because I love searching for players and just seeing who else has those kind of stats in.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you can.
I can. Well, yeah. I'll try. I'll try and work out a way of.
Oh yeah, of course you probably can't. But or even if you use FUT now, but
No, it's fine. I think I can work. I think I can work this out. I might just have to. I think I just have to open it as an image and then I can share it. But he's making everything complex for me.
Sorry, I should have just told you what to search on.
Yeah, you should have done, but that's fine. I could switch the window, and here we go. So everybody can see that now.
But he's the only player in game with higher than 95 agility and starting tackle and standing tackle above 90. only player in the game.
Just imagine. I tell you what, this is if they really want to make this a rule breaker, right? They should have made him a possibility to be a centre back.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and this
If
is
they
this
really
is
want
about
to break the
chemistry.
rules of this guy, make him a possible centre back, and just think about that for a second. Okay, fine, he's 5'9", but think about it.
Yeah, I think this is a nice diamond in the rough. It's almost, I almost want to pick up a card just to bring him on in games where you want to see it out. Bring this guy on.
Yeah, I think I think he's definitely one. Keep an eye on the old price. A little bit like I was saying with Bailey. Keep an eye on the old price. If there's a bit of a dip, definitely worthwhile picking one up.
Yeah, maybe Thursday reward time.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So, well, that's rule breaks.
Godfrey was the last person. We won't talk about him as much, but I feel like Godfrey, if you check him out, he's got some nice stats in the right places, like a quick centre back, cheaper alternative option to other centre backs you've got in game. His defensive stats are a little bit lower to like the obvious ones at the moment, like your Van Dijks, like your Marquinhos's, like your Militaos, but he's just a cheaper option for people with a more budget squad in the Prem.
Yeah, there was an interesting conversation that was in the Discord in relation to Godfrey. It was around the conversation around Alaba. I think it was the options. I was hoping that we were going to have a banana present simply because you two got into quite an interesting discussion in the Discord, which I was hoping to recreate. I think I mean, just speaking quickly on Alaba, I think we'll pick up SBCs a little bit later, but just quickly on Alaba because he is a rules breaker and we can get it done and dusted out of the way. Quite expensive. I mean, two really good versions of the card, will likely be a centre back that takes you through probably pretty much until team of the year. But for 300, pushing 340k in some at sometimes, it's quite expensive, isn't it?
It is. It depends what other SBCs you've done. So I've stayed away from that many SBCs so far. So I've got quite a lot of high rated fodder, which has stopped me open untradeable packs. Just in the fear of getting one and then having to somehow quickly discard something.
Yeah, having to and then forget to quick sell recover it because that never happens to anybody.
Alaba, I wouldn't say he's someone who you have to do. I just think the way I envisage my squad going, Vinny is in my plans. Militao, should probably be in my plans for a little while. Mendy at some point. So like, you've then got 5 in the same club in the same league. They've all got free chem. Just feels nice. I don't know. I think I'm going to do this card. But yeah, just going to try and pick up some untradeable fodder. Hopefully we get some upgrade packs during the week and it just makes them a bit easier to complete. But I would say definitely look at him if you're going at less than 150k. So if you could do half of it by untradables, then have a serious look at Alaba.
Yeah, I think it's I think that was the advice you gave on the Discord. I think it's a bit of a weird one for me. I haven't had, I mean, the high rated fodder that I've hit so far has actually been tradable. So you know, a lot of it's already gone. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got too much in terms of untradeable stuff sat there, so it's probably something that I'm going to pass on, simply because, again, just in terms of the cost. The other thing is that I've got Wants to Watch Rudiger, so that kind of changes things. If I didn't have him, then it might be something that I look at a little bit more to say, yeah, can I get it done? Is it worthwhile? You know, can I do some quick flips to sort of get a quick kind of, you know, 50k over the space of sort of 3 or 4 days? But yeah, because I've got Rudiger, and, you know, Arejo is just an absolute monster for 3k or whatever it is that he costs. You know, I think yeah, it is something that I'm going to pass on. But I do get, I think the one thing I would just say to people is that I know I saw like Nepenthes say that this is an absolute must do, you know, etc. And then kind of, you know, putting the point across about, you know, he's going to be in your team for a while. I just be careful with that, because it's very easy for Nepenthes and all those guys that have got, you know, coins and FIFA points coming out of their ears to say, yeah, I'm definitely going to do this. This is an absolute must do card. You know, when you're probably a little bit more thrifty and kind of don't get to kind of sort of hammer it that much. Yeah, it's probably slightly different, as it is in my case. So, okay, so let's talk weekend league. Well, I tell you what, let's talk with it. I mean, I don't want to go to, I don't want to give away the chance for Bernardo to have a rant in relation to EA mistakes. So I feel that I don't want to go into too much detail with them, because I think I'm going to give him a chance to give ourselves a chance next pod just to wind him up and off he goes. And then that will probably have an E-rated sticker next to that episode of the pod. Are we, just as a general point, it seems like we're seeing more and more basic errors from EA this year. You know, there have been errors previously, and, you know, you've spoken a lot from like a dev's perspective and all this kind of thing. It does seem like it's happening a lot, like too much this year. Like, whereas you know, sometimes even as a dev, you can kind of, you know, whereas you don't agree that a massive corporation like this should be making no mistakes, you can kind of see how it happens. Some of these are really, really basic, right? Like we're talking almost like, surely they're doing this on purpose.
I don't think they're doing it on purpose.
No, I don't think they do. I mean, that's, I'm gonna say, just
Yeah.
to, you know, I haven't got my tinfoil hat on. Like, I'm not saying that they are doing it on purpose, but it's pretty frequent, and it's pretty basic stuff that we're missing out. Simple things like the Napoli badge, using the Napoli badge when they don't even have the rights. You know, getting the dynamic image for Rodrigo and Harrison mixed up. Like, this is like, wow, basic.
Yeah, I think actually Rodrigo and Harrison feels like one of the better ones. Although I think
Certainly one of the fun ones.
I don't really. I don't know. Like, is it easier? I think just because an image has no impact, so I don't mind that mistake. If that makes sense, like.
Oh, okay. In the sense that there's no like market impact or anything like that. It's just the wrong image was used.
Yeah, and there's no danger to it. It's
harmless.
Are we gonna go into it? Because
I mean, you could touch on it briefly. I'm honestly, Banana, if you're listening, I'm trying desperately to make sure you can have a full run at this.
Because I've been waiting a week to go in about the FUT Hero pack. I don't feel like I can really hold off. And
go on, do it. Okay, right. We'll do the FUT Hero pack. So, for those that don't know, and it was very much blink and you miss it, and I had a couple of friendly jabs at some of the guys in the Discord because there wasn't massive sirens going off in the Discord. But Saturday, was it Saturday night? Was it on a Saturday? I can't remember. It was on basically at 6 p.m.
Yeah, it was Saturday night.
It was a Saturday night. I was busy. You were busy. I know Banana.
I wasn't busy. I checked 6 p.m. content. Went to the SBCs to see what there was, and I thought, no, I'm not interested. Went back upstairs to do some more DIY. Came back down half an hour later, and check the Discord.
Oh, mate, this is okay. That's
So
kind of
I was online, but
that's kind
why
of.
I've
I'm not
never
gonna lie.
looked at the promo packs.
I'm not gonna lie. That kind of that does lay a little bit of the foundation work as to as to why you might be so angry about this. So yeah, EA released a pack for a tradable pack in the store for 25,000 coins for a FUT hero. Tradable. Essentially those that got in, and I think it was live for about 10 minutes, I think. It was only one per person, but those that got in, it was they were essentially printing money. Now, obviously, EA took it down. As far as I'm aware, there has been no acknowledgement of it from like direct communications. People have sort of suggested that there would likely be some form of compensation, but the likely compensation would be that those that got the trade, it was supposed to be an untradeable pack, and it's supposed to be on for more coins, and those that got the tradable pack, who got the tradable, would then get an untradeable version, because that's the kind of thing we've had previously. That would have just caused argument, a virtual riot, and hasn't had. And we got there were some people putting around on Twitter a couple of days ago, stating that there will be no compensation for the FUT heroes, no official announcement or anything like that. They've just, basically it's kind of been decided that by the powers that be that, yeah, we're just going to kind of ignore it.
What did you see? I think it's all stemmed from a reply from an EA help person called Bob.
I haven't seen this, but what I will say is, before you want to go into it, I don't buy this EA help stuff. Right? Whenever there's somebody says something in EA help, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's where it's come from.
Oh, okay, that's very confident. Okay, so yeah, basically, yeah, because people sometimes take that way out of context, and these guys have no idea what they're talking. They're just typing off a sheet, and copy and pasting. So let's not get too far on that while we're trying to reduce conspiracy theories. So obviously you and I missed out. Many other people missed out. Some people massively gained. There was rumors that EA were buying up all the FUT heroes that had been put on the market to try and minimize the damage to the market. So that's kind of what happened. Fully discuss.
I actually haven't been that angry about it. I think.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, just from a personal point of view, I maybe more frustrated that I haven't really had a big hit at the moment, in it, like from rewards or weekend league or my drafts. I don't think I'm trying to think who my highest player was to pack. Probably Mendy, like about 100k, and that's about it. So something like this, or any road to glory, would have been massive, I feel, especially if you hit big. So frustrated from that aspect, I didn't get the chance to do it. I think the worst thing from EA's perspective is the acknowledgement, not even coming out to say, sorry, no, we got this one wrong. This is what's going to happen. Just to keep Twitter at bay a little bit, rather than everyone's fearing what will happen about compensation and whatnot. I don't think it would be right to compensate people, I must admit, even if it was an untradeable pack. Like you say, that would just create a riot.
To be fair, there is an easy way of doing it. At the end of the day, it was one per user, so they will be able to see from the diagnostics which users redeemed it. Every user that didn't redeem it gets a free one. Gets that in their store. Whether they can that can directly go to their store or not, I don't know. But the problem is, because obviously there was an exchange of coins. Because the thing is that, and that's probably the only thing that's stopping them from doing that, is that how do you then give somebody the option? Because the fact is, people took that option, people took that gamble, Okay, fine. I don't think there was any way that they could have lost money. I think even the worst hero would have been more than 25k. But again, if that's the thing, isn't it? If it wasn't for the fact that there is an exchange of coins, I suppose then again, but then again, to be fair, you just give everybody I get it because it was tradable. But fine. Tell you what, give everyone a tradable FUT hero pack. Those that did redeem, you can see who had redeemed it. So those who had redeemed it, they get 25,000 coins back. Done.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I think
Whether
that
that's
should have
possible or
happened.
not, I don't know whether that's possible or not. But that that is the leveler. That's the play. That's leveling the playing field.
Yeah, I think once you've made that mistake, you just have to let it lie. I guess there are two sides to this. I'm not sure if I completely agree with it. I think that's the fairest thing to do. Or just leave it there for a day. People who get it, get it. People that don't, and move on from it. What it would have caused is, I think the market certainly would have been impacted. Not enough of a market expert to know how much damage it would have done. Obviously, the hero market would have plummeted, and that's what did happen, only for EA to apparently buy up lots of cards. And I think that did happen because these hero cards didn't drop it as much as they should have because just so many flooded the market. So it should have caused quite a lot of damage to those cards. Should they have stopped that? Like even that speaks for itself, like market manipulation right there, just to make sure that they're not out of pocket in a way. I'm not a big fan of that, and that's one of the first times it's happened. Evidently, there's been sort of rumours of it happening in the past, and no one knows for sure if it even did happen on this occurrence. But yeah, there has been rumours of EA either buying cards or putting cards on the market, and that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, but you say that, but I mean, so the transfer market is a live thing. It's a living thing, right? The various things that happen, FUT Sheriff tweets something and it'll have an impact on the market in some way, shape, or form because people are reacting exactly the same way as the stock market. People are reacting on hunches, on information that they're hearing. That's why insider trading is a criminal offense because it gives you an advantage. So, like, I'm kind of okay with them manipulating the market to make it consistent. Do you know what I mean? Like if something drops too low, I don't want Ronaldo or Messi to be worth 50k within the first 3 months of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, or I know that there are natural points where it happens. For example, Black Friday because of market supply. That's fine. It's because of market supply. But again, you don't want to you look at what happened last year, where we were barely into January and the market was it was at the at the lowest that anybody could remember it.
I didn't mind that though. I weren't too bothered.
Well,
because special cards took over, and I don't think the game got stale.
It's an interesting one. I think the fact of the matter is our market expert is not here, so I think it's probably one of the poorest showings that we've had for some time.
So on the other side of the fence, you also probably had traders who might have had 10 hero items of the same card. Someone's sitting there, probably trying to trade 10 Lucios or something like that, and then all of a sudden, all your hard work is just disappears. So it's protected those guys, which is good.
Yeah, I think I think there are different ways of looking at it. I think whether there was some kind of correction in terms of the market to correct the mistake, I don't know. I'd have liked to see some. I'd like to see, same as you. I'd like to see some kind of acknowledgement, and I'd like to see them say, look, this is what we're going to do in relation to say, right, everyone's going to have the opportunity to do it. Those that did it, fine, they're going to get you can have 25k back, as I said, and then those that didn't do it, you're going to get the opportunity, let's say opportunity, but again, it kind of, anyway, yeah, it's one of those things. It was just a mess, and we're seeing more and more messes at the moment. But needless to say, I'm sure that when Banana joins us again next week, there'll be something new that we can rant about in relation to an EA mistake. So let's move on to talk about.
There are a couple. Well, I feel like there's another big one that we should. Well,
Okay.
let's not go into them, but just because that they were 2 mistakes of like 6 or 7 this week, just to kind of show you what sort of week EA have had. The lesser ones were like pre-season rewards, giving goals instead of specials. That happened. Actually, I think that was probably the only other small one. But yeah, the more major one was the World Cup release. The World Cup.
Oh yeah, that happened because it was a PS. Yeah, so basically, PlayStation users could access the World Cup, the World Cup version, the World Cup mode, which is interesting because it was quite good because it showed that they're doing very similar to what they did for the 2018 World Cup, which is good because, as I've said previously, I loved that game mode. I thought it was brilliant. And if I remember correctly, every pack you opened in the World Cup mode, you got a pack, like a basic gold pack in FUT. I remember
something
correctly.
like that, yeah, something like that.
So that can be that. Again, it might be a basic gold pack, but hey, Bateson got a bloody Rulebreaker Ronaldo out of 7.5k pack. So who knows? Any pack could be any pack. Is what we always say, always have said. Any pack could be the one. So yeah, that was pretty. That's pretty. I don't even know how you find that out. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't even know how you find out that could be done.
Yeah, no. I guess it was from the store menu or something. So if
No, it's
someone
from the
is
co-op
poking
menu,
around,
isn't it? It's like play with a friend or something like that. It was from that menu.
Yeah, I guess all you have to do is stumble upon it, and then it spreads like wildfire.
Absolutely, but that's all right. Us Xbox purists, we can put up with waiting. But yeah, like you say, that there've been multiple errors, and again, I don't want to. We spent far too many pods over the last 4 or 5 years, going over EA mistakes. It's everybody knows where we're at the moment with EA, and it's not a good place.
No.
But next year's the last year. This year's the last year.
This year's the last year.
This year's the last year.
They need to do better.
So again, it's one of those things. Well, it's interesting times ahead. So we'll see what we get. What we get over the summer, really. What we've got to play with. So weekend league. I played the first one this weekend. Not gonna lie, I was thinking this last year, and we really spoke about it enough. I love it being 20 games. Love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely love it. Like, I had about two big sessions. That was it, done.
Yep.
I played 8 games Saturday afternoon, early evening, and played 12 games this afternoon. Done. 2 big sessions, done job.
Yep.
Amazing.
Honestly, then just go and enjoy the weekend.
Exactly.
Do whatever.
Exactly. I worked. I even lost half a day of my weekend. I was still able to play weekend league. It's like, again, qualified. Did the playoffs on Friday night.
Yep.
So technically, I've played 30 games. But do you know what I mean? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that. So I enjoy. Look, I've had some interaction on Twitter with some of the guys that we one of our old mates, actually, to be fair. From the real world, talking about weekend league and things like that, and keeping sanity and things like that, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I probably had a game. We had some. I had probably about 40% of the games where I felt that maybe I'd been out teamed. So somebody 5, 6, 7, 8 games where I felt I was out teamed. I didn't lose all of them. There are a couple of epic battles that I ended up, maybe kind of being the wrong side of. I got spanked 2 or 3 times. I think I only actually quit out once. I think it was only maybe twice where it was really bad. Penalty shootouts as well. Really good at penalty shootouts. Don't know why, but
Not had one yet.
oh, hey.
But well, it will go on to it. But yeah, I wish I hadn't had one. Let's say that much.
Yeah, well, but yeah, no, had a really good, again, same team as what we discussed previously. Predominantly going with a 4-2-2. I think my issue is that I do struggle slightly if that doesn't work. As to what I go through. I mean, I've got a 4-2-3-1, I've got a 4-3-3, I've got a 4-2-4, got a 4-1-2-1-2. I think there were occasions where I kind of like, I don't really think I've got anything in my locker that will work here. So again, a couple of losses maybe because of that. But hey, I hit 11 wins, which I thought was the first time since we went to a 20-game season. But it did remind season weekend league. But you did remind me actually that I did hit it once last year. So only the second time I've hit 11 wins. So yeah, really, I was really, really pleased with that. Again, as mentioned, hit Bruno Guimaraes, Carrera, and who's my other one? Oh, Muriel in my reds. So, out of 3 reds, that was, an 84, an 84, and an 85. So, I can't really complain with that. And then Carrera and Guimaraes will go straight into my squad to see what they're like. And then Muriel should be a decent super sub. So, I kept the Team of the Week pack and the Ultimate pack because I'm not really. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just doesn't feel like it's the right time to open them.
Certainly with the Team of the Week pack. I think any tradable pack is still fair game, just because.
What do you reckon? Oh, okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
Just because we are still in that stage where some of the lower end gold cards are still worth something. So
I suppose you've got your Mendy's and like Dembele's and things like that, haven't you? So
yeah, I would still open those for probably the next couple of weeks, and then
okay, I might
stop.
I might rip it a little bit later on then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I say, happy. Yeah, certainly wasn't going to do the Team of the Week one, but yeah, no, certainly really happy. And it's weird, like I'd love to come and complain and say that I really hated Weekend League, but I loved it. It was really enjoyable. So can't.
What did you play on? Old or next gen?
Next gen.
Okay.
Next gen. I don't know. I've tried. I downloaded old gen. I've gone back to it. I just don't. I think part of the problem is that because I don't. I'll be honest. I don't attack in enough of a dynamic way. If I could change anything about the way I play, I would attack in a more dynamic way. I would have more ways of attacking. I'm quite not one-dimensional, but I can get myself into the old muscle memory. Sometimes kicks in too much, so I then become a little bit too predictable. I think with old gen, I think my opposition can defend a lot easier, and therefore that makes my life more difficult.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? If that makes sense, that's the impression I got. I think, I wasn't really able to defend any better on old gen, and I definitely couldn't attack as well as I do on new gen. So, yeah, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, you said when we had the discussion on the last pod, you didn't think it would I'd probably notice that much difference. And certainly, yeah. Maybe I did. Maybe I just haven't given it enough of a chance. But I don't know. Maybe next week I'll play on old gen.
Yeah, I thought you might prefer old gen, but
It's fine. It's fine. Like I say, I mean, I think I did try it last weekend. I just think I'd had a bad run because I think, as you say, I think I'd played 13 games and I think I'd only won 2 or something like that. And I'd started on old gen and then gone to new gen. So maybe it was just a bad run. Do you know what I mean? And actually now that I've kind of changed the team a little bit, changed the tactics a little bit, maybe it'll be a bit different now. But yeah, but like I say, I enjoyed myself. So I played it in the weekend league and on next gen, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, Stuff you or the haters?
Well, in all honesty, I haven't seen that much hate on Twitter for Weekend League in general. The only things I've really seen are about inconsistent gameplay, so the servers being slow at certain points. I must admit I haven't experienced it at all myself, so I don't know if the UK servers are just playing ball at the moment and I'm doing all right. But yeah, my experience is the same as you. I've played 2 weekend leagues now, and I've enjoyed both.
See, we got an enjoyable game, boys. What we got? What was there to complain about? Like, you know, got an enjoyable game. It's enjoyable to play.
Yeah, it's insane. But as people probably, I've made very aware on Discord, that I've been playing old gen. I certainly favour that game. Honestly, it's, for me, this is the best FIFA since 17. Maybe even better. Maybe this is have to give it a little bit longer. This could be the best FIFA in this last decade, or like, yeah, you might have to go back a long way to find a good a FIFA as this, based on its current state. If in old gen at least, I wouldn't say that about next gen, but I think that's not necessarily that the game sucks. I'm looking for what makes a competitive game, and for me, old gen, because the responsiveness is that much higher, I'm able to press in a completely different way. Like I've always said that my defensive skills as a FIFA player is up there. If you did a FIFA tournament tomorrow on this game, I think I would probably be a top 50 defender. Like it's that good, and I'm able to show that and do that on the old gen version of the game. I'm just able to defend in a way that people can't. The way I press, people just can't deal with it, and games are becoming very easy for me. So I just love that. I'm able to express myself to the fullest in old gen and love it on that basis. I had 2 games that I lost this weekend. Felt like chess. Loved it. Like I lost. Fair play. Like, the games are really tight. I made mistakes. They made mistakes. We dealt blows to each other. I was a bit unlucky, but I didn't get shafted. Through some ridiculous goal, or they were just good games. I was like, okay, I'm annoyed that I lost, because one of the games I lost, so I was actually 18-1. So it was like my first attempt of going 19, which would have been the highest rank you can get, which would have been quite nice to get in the second week of the game's release, just to take that off and chill. But yeah, no, I lost in extra time. I actually conceded in the 85th minute as well. I was 1-0 up. And then, you know what? I saw the run going through, and I thought my defender was going to block him there, because he's like right in line with him, so he's not going to be able to run through. And he did the through ball, and then he just ran right past my defender. I was like, well, hang on a minute. Whenever I do that, I'm completely blocked off. But yeah, I think it was a Rougeau in that scenario. So sometimes I have found him a little bit weak, and I think that was just him not being quite a high-tier defender of someone like Informed Tomori is. And yeah, ended up losing in extra time, but yeah, still loving it. The only thing I would say is my rewards have been awful. I'm getting a little bit frustrated about that, like seeing people hit things, just like mid-range stuff, and even complaining about mid-range stuff. And I'm sitting here with the best card I've packed from both weekend leagues after getting 18 wins is gold Schick from Leverkusen, 85 rated. That's my best card. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I must admit, like I said, I've been saying across socials and on the Discord and saying it to you, for decent reds there, and people are like complaining that they got Carrera. And I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy I got Carrera.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, well, I had him in my team anyway, so was able to replace him. I actually picked two of him because my Reds were that. He's the only good red I got. Would have loved Frimpong as well. So annoyed that I didn't get Frimpong.
Frimpong's quite nice. Yeah, I saw someone got Frimpong and was moaning. I said, he's one of the best fullbacks on the game. What
brilliant. He was still in my team. Do you want to discuss teams as well?
I think it's. I would say I was going to say yes, but then I think we are running quite lengthy already. To borrow a phrase that is probably the word of the game so far, from the game cycle. I think probably in terms of just kind of going through sort of individual teams, I think, we had the discussion earlier on the weekend about, kind of, teaming up and being out teamed and things like that, and how big of an issue that is or not. So I think I've got, like I say, having Carrera and Ramirez, I think that's a couple of places upgraded. Whether how much Carrera is going to be an upgrade on Depay, who I've replaced him with, I don't know, but we'll wait and see. But I think Ramirez is pretty good upgrade on Camavinga. My issue is, and I suppose you can probably vouch for this as well in terms of what because we're looking at relatively similar upgrades. Again, you mentioned earlier Mendy, Vinny Jr., Militao. Like, these are the guys that we're probably looking at, right? Now, my issue is that someone like Vinny, if I went out and bought his gold card, who I don't think I can afford yet, to be honest. I don't know, is he below 200k yet?
Yes, he's creeping, but lower now.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm not too far away from affording him then. But at least I've got an idea that his value will hold for some time.
So Vinny's?
Yeah.
I don't think it will, mate. Honestly, I think this is gonna.
But this is my point. I'd love to upgrade to Vinny. I could probably upgrade to Vinny. Again, Benzema is somebody that I looked at, in the early game, the early stages when I decided that my team was going to go the way that it went. Benzema was going to place Darwin Núñez. But then I look at Benzema now and think he is not going to stay that price for much longer. So, and if I'm not careful and I miss the drop, I'm losing out. Whereas at the moment, I think Cruz is my most expensive. Cruz and Rashford are my most. Actually, Rashford's untradeable now because I did buy him, but then I sold him off because I packed him untradeable. So I think Cruz is my most expensive player that I own, and he's what, 18k, and I bought him for 18k.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like at the moment, I'm all right. I'm not bothered. I think maybe Gomez might have gone down. But do you know what I mean? Again, the players that I bought are pretty much the same value now as when I bought them 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, that's good. Like, the advice I guess I'd give in that respect would be to pick up team of the weeks Sunday when rewards drop over the weekend, and you can pretty much leave an inform in your team. They shouldn't drop that much. And all the special cards. So wait for Thursday, pick up a nice special card. Like, that's what I did with Lamar this week. Picked him up for 80k. Thought, I'm going to stick him on the team. He'll be good for 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long, and I won't lose too much coins from that transfer. But any coins you put into a gold player now it's just going to not plummet, but it's going to slowly crash until Black Friday, and then it's going to crash even worse. Like I would say, Vinny, I was just looking at him now. He's already on a steady trend of minus 40k per week. So 3rd of October was Sunday, 2nd of October, 270k. By Thursday, dropped down to 260. Not a massive drop, to be fair, but like pretty much only 10k. Next Thursday, where is it? Next Thursday was at 180k. So yeah, even like Kozan Militao as well, Mendy. I know Mendy famously holds his price, but I think he'll start dropping like 10k every week. Militao the same.
Yeah.
All these gold rare cards is just going to steadily drop. Even Mbappe's come down a little bit. He's He was 1.5. Now he's 1.3, 1.35. So yeah, he's on the incline. Sorry, decline.
So yeah, okay. Well, that's actually good advice. Actually, to be fair, and probably something that we could all take away. Because again, certainly, I mean, yeah, like I think, obviously, it's same as always. Is you want to try and be as at this stage of the game, you want to try and be as untradeable as possible. Simply because again, we're not quite, the market. There are still quite a lot of value. A lot of rare gold cards that have got a lot of value, but as Billy said, will naturally go down relatively quickly around Black Friday and in the run up to. Hopefully, our training guru will be back to help navigate us all through that difficult period. But it won't be far. We're probably not too far away from starting to kind of bail out on some of the more expensive cards that you may own. So to try and get ahead of the curve. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a little check-in with Banana next week and see where we go from there. So yeah, but anyone particularly you're looking at upgrading at the moment?
I think that man we just discussed, Vinny and Mendy, just to upgrade the left side. I've got Coleman and Alphonso Davies there at the moment. I'm really impressed with Alphonso Davies actually, and Coleman did an alright job. But I think that'll be my next upgrade. And I just want to shout out a few players really. Diaby has been brilliant for me. Diaby, Frimpong, boss the right hand side. De Jong as well. De Jong was brilliant. De Jong was actually slightly better than Lamar, but both great at CDMs. Correa wasn't that brilliant for me, but Danjuma as well. Danjuma up front, that moments card was exceptional. So good.
I think he probably was in 18 of the 20 games that I played this weekend. I was going following Banana's advice and just not doing any of the SBCs. I'd probably regret doing him. But having said that, I think he didn't cause me a problem in every single game, if you know what I mean. Some games he did something ridiculous, and other games he didn't do. It wasn't really a problem. So it's a bit, it's one of those things. Which you can get with the early player SBCs, to be fair. So, but yeah, I suppose was there anyone in my lot that I want? I mean, Rashford was excellent this week. Don't really, not really sure on anyone to be able that really sticks out. I suppose one thing I would say is that I'm playing Joe Gomez as a right back, and he is not suffering.
Okay, Bill of real life.
Yeah, Bill real life. Do you know what I mean? Like again, I think I think I saw somebody say it or something in the Discord or something say, I wouldn't play. If you're playing Joe Gomez, I'd be playing him in the centre, not on the right. But actually, I mean, because I looked at him and I looked at Trent and I looked at what I want from a fullback, and I decided that I want Gomez and not Trent. and and yeah, so I think like I say, I'm not suffering because he's out there. If I'm being honest, at all. Did make him lengthy, or I think he starts lengthy. Can't remember, but yeah. So it's all good. Okay, mate. Cool. Well, let's wrap this up then, and let's have a look at our Padlock King, because in all honesty, it's been a bit slim pickings this week, hasn't it, mate? It's particularly because we've had a couple of weeks at it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, because there's quite a big gap between our last pod. Well, it's nearly 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought there'd be more selection, but I think there's still been a lot of good pools, but just
good
no.
Pools, yeah, we've had Mendy, Modric, Van Dijk, baby Hugo Sanchez, Messi has popped in, Dirk Kuyt, which is pretty a decent one. We've had a couple of Kantés, Mane, Anthony, Salah, Son. Good ship actually is probably with Anthony, Coman, Salah, and Son probably came close as a totting up procedure. To winning it all. But our outright winner was I've got to find him again now. Where is he? Oh, it was Dino. There we are, Dino, who packed Inform Haaland. And he wasn't on there, but he did mention that he got Haaland in his red picks. So a team of the week upgrade, Haaland and a red Haaland. Very, very nice. So yeah, Dino takes it for this week. He's still got the belt as well. So that I don't know whether that yellow will show up. But
No, the yellow won't show up, but I probably won't bother transferring across because then I'll just lose who's got the yellow font. So there's currently no Pat Luck King, but it obviously is Dino. But
so yes, enjoy your crown with your belt, Dino. And yeah, keep getting them pulls, boys. Keep getting them pulls. Wimby's had a hell of a start. Lots of low end for Wimby.
it's an absolute joke.
But he's had a lot of, again, there's a lot of kind of Mendy-esque, very good. Very, very good. Right. So, cool. Well, boys. Well, like I say, hopefully we shall be back on Friday. With Deswati Banana returning, and we shall be discussing Rulebreakers Team 2. Probably go into a little bit more detail. Might well go into the EA mistakes a little bit more detail, and depending how ranty Mr. Banana is feeling. And yeah, we'll start looking ahead towards what's on the horizon in terms of Black Friday and what we need to do with cards. So whatever you're doing, boys, whether you're grinding Weekend League, whether you're grinding Rivals, doing objectives, moments are still going. Cheeky 5 minutes, still got to play, little moments for cheeky 5 minutes. Whether you're playing on old gen or new gen, whatever you're doing, keep it casual, and we'll see you next week. Wait for YouTube.